You are watching the Doctalk show. In our future story today,
Immunization is the act of introducing a vaccine into a baby's body or a child's baby who is below 5 years, minimizing contraction of diseases. When we immunize, we don't mean that the child may not suffer from that particular disease, but we try to boost the baby's immunity such that even if the baby is to get sick, they will not be seriously sick. Here in Kawempe, we immunize all babies from birth up to 5 years, and normally, on average, we immunize about 2,000 children per month. When we immunize all the babies born here, as a policy here, we immunize them before they leave the facility. And for those who come from far, we advise them to visit the nearest health facilities and continue their immunizations.
When the mother comes at birth, then we schedule them to come back at 6 weeks. 6 weeks, we are giving them their first dose of pneumonia, hepatitis. Then still, we schedule them to come back at 10 weeks. At 10 weeks, they are coming to get their second dose. The same vaccines they receive when they are at 6 weeks, they are the same vaccines we give them at 10 weeks. Then we tell them still to come back at 14 weeks. 14 weeks, the baby has made 3.5 months, and we still repeat the same doses they received at 10 weeks. Only that, at 14 weeks, we add them 1 injection of injectable polio.
Otherwise, the vaccines are not fake, they are very good, and the children are doing well. Normally, the immunity that babies get from their mothers wear off within 6 weeks after delivery. It is important that we immunize these babies. If you don't immunize them, it will affect their growth. They will grow poor, others will not even make it, they can even die.
In this hospital, here where we are standing, we work on those who return at 6 weeks, 10 weeks, up to 5 years. But the newborns, we find them on the wards. Then two, as a facility, we do not have adequate storage facilities for the vaccine, so we keep the little we can. We give a child health card to every mother that comes here, free of charge, because these cards are supplied by Ministry of Health.
Yeah, this is a child immunization card. It is an important tool in immunization. This card helps us to identify the child, the rightful owner of the card, the parents, where they stay. It is where we even record the type of vaccine that has been given, the date, and then inside here there is space also for when the child has been immunized, when the child should come back. These graphs, they help us in monitoring the child's weight growth. Actually, there are these lines that guide us. When you plot and find that the child is maybe at a very higher, like this line, if the child is above here, that implies that this child is obese. So we cancel the parent on feeding and we keep monitoring. So as we plot, it can tell us that this baby has continuously gained weight or is losing weight, and when is losing weight, to what extent? Is it in the normal ranges or again it has dropped? So it helps us to also encourage the mothers. You know, when we plot and you show them, you see your baby is doing well, they also get encouraged. Each time they come, they want to know their baby's weight and they want to know how they are faring. So it is a very important tool. It also helps us for babies who are not gaining weight, who are not growing well. When we plot, it helps us to see, is this child growing well? If not growing well, then it helps us to counsel the parent and we know where the problem is.
We track the clients that get side effects of the vaccines, so that in case maybe there is a vaccine that has a problem, or it is our fault that has a problem, then we're able to know if the baby gets a side effect, then we tell them to come back. Whatever side effect they get, we document it. And then we keep on following up the babies and see if there is any worse, because there are those side effects, we call them normal. But if it becomes an adverse event, then it means it has gone beyond we expect. So we follow them up and we report so that the ministry knows the vaccines we are using, either they are causing harm or not harm to the community.
So, dear mothers, this card is very, very important for your children. Any health facility you meet, they will just read and know which immunization is due. And then even schools, they need them to follow up the children very well. And even in the future, when these children get sickly, we can cross-check back and see. When we have these cards and we find that many of our babies who are immunized, they are being infected by certain illness, because we have also records, so we can go back at our books and see which batch did this child receive and see is the problem with the vaccine, the manufacturer, and so on. So this is an important tool in monitoring the child's health and growth.
You are watching the Doctalk Show.
The government is going to enroll on a worldwide immunization campaign against measles, rubella, and polio, targeting children who are below the age of 15 years. So if you have a child at home who is below that age group, who is within that age group, ensure they get this vaccine, which is totally free of charge from either the hospital or from the school where the immunization team will be immunizing children. So whenever we hear of such massive campaigns, there appear to be certain, we can call them elements. People want to take advantage and start giving wrong information and start doing wrong deeds on the side to discredit the good name of the campaign. So we want to watch out for some of these things. What are these things we should watch out for during this campaign? So Dr. Alfred, with this massive measles immunization campaign coming up, what should people watch out for?
The messages which we are going to put out in the media, which we are going to put in posters, they will carry the Ministry of Health logo. If it is a recording, there will be a note that it is this message is coming from Ministry of Health, and the people who are most likely going to be communicating these messages in your district are people whom you know, your LC5, your chairman, the RDC, your DSO, your DPC, the district health team, the district education officer. These are people who are trained. And there are also NGOs, civil society, who are working in your district side by side with the established systems. This is where you will, this is where you should get your information. The next thing also is for you to look out for people who are giving information which is different from what is already known. We will ask you to report this information to the district authority so that we get to the bottom of that issue and ask the person to explain the facts at hand so that we do not jeopardize this campaign.
Okay, and not forgetting people who want to now put a cost to a vaccine which is meant to be free. Would you want to give a word on that?
Now, vaccines in this country which are coming from public sources are meant to be free, and they are free. And there is no reason for anybody to be getting vaccines which are on the routine immunization schedule at a fee, including hepatitis B vaccine, which parents are being asked by some schools to pay for. It's unacceptable and it is wrong, because the children we have in schools up to 17 years, they are fully vaccinated for hepatitis, and there's no reason whatsoever to have them vaccinated through getting private people or other health workers to come and vaccinate.
Okay.
And also in schools, beyond this campaign, we provide tetanus and diphtheria vaccine in schools and HPV for 10-year-old girls. These are also free because they are supported through the government program. So this is an appeal we want to make to schools and to parents to understand so that we provide these services without those hindrances.
Okay, so I want to appreciate the government for coming out strongly on this immunization campaign against the deadly diseases of measles, rubella, and polio. So, Dr. Immaculate, do you have any last words to give the public as we conclude?
Yeah, I want to encourage the parents to bring all your under 15 years children to the health facility, and also to support the schools to vaccinate your children that are going to schools, and also the school authorities to screen children for vaccination at school entry, and really take interest and understand what vaccines are being given to children by the vaccination card. And for this campaign, we want to account for every child, so we urge all the leaders to ensure that if child is reached, in terms of accountability, is reaching every child, and making sure we interrupt the ongoing outbreak, and also to ensure that the resources are utilized as provided, and that safety and coverage is attained during this campaign.
Okay, we must speak out to measles,
And rubella
and
and polio in our
Okay,
country.
so Dr. Alfred, any last words as the program head of the immunization, the national immunization program of Uganda?
Yeah, immunization is a public good, and immunization is an entitlement of a child in this country, and immunization is one of our public health interventions which has contributed greatly to child survival in this country. Therefore, we encourage parents to take vaccination activities, vaccination of their children very seriously, so that we save unnecessary deaths of children from a disease which is otherwise preventable. The campaign starts on 16th of October, that is Wednesday, and it ends on 20th October 2019, which is going to be on Sunday. Saturday and Sunday are going to be dedicated for vaccinating children who are non-school going. My appeal is that as a parent and as a mobilizer, your role is to ensure any child from birth to 15 is sent to the health facility or to the immunization post, and it will be the health workers to sort them out for the specific vaccines, so that we have a very good coverage, and it is this action which will determine the success of the campaign. While we have prepared health workers, and we continue to prepare them so that the quality of the services provided is as recommended. And we are very sure this is what we have done over the years, and we are going to repeat the same.
Okay, so I want to thank the Ministry of Health and the government of Uganda for coming out strongly in kicking out these deadly diseases, measles, rubella, and polio, out of Uganda. So it is our responsibility as people, as citizens of this country, take advantage of this free initiative offered by the government. It's a health service given to you. So take your child who is below 15 years to school to receive their rubella and measles vaccine. If they're below 5 years, they will also receive their free polio vaccine. Remember, these vaccines are absolutely free of charge. You shouldn't be asked to pay any sort of money. It is a service which is provided by the government of Uganda free of charge. It's paid by you, the very taxpayers. So take advantage of this very great service provided by the Ministry of Health. So I want to thank our guest doctors from UNEPI, the Uganda National Expanded Program on Immunization. The program head, Dr. Driwale Alfred and Dr. Ampire Immaculate, for taking us through this elaborate discussion on the campaign against measles, rubella, and polio. We hope to see you